monosodium glutamate, butylated hydroxyanisole, sodium benzoate, perfluorinated chemicals. What do these all have in common? These are harmful chemicals that are found in our fast food that many of us eat. Fast food is bad. Today, I hope to show you that fast food industry needs to be regulated and regulated now. Through my research, I am convinced that if the federal government doesn't step in now, the American people will continue to suffer from severe health issues, which have led to even economic issues, all at the hands of the consumption of fast food and its damaging effects. First, I want to start by showing you a quick 2-minute video about the effects of fast food on the body. Let's take a look. Some pretty interesting stuff, right? As we saw in the video, fast food can make you gain weight rapidly, which then can lead to obesity. This takes me to my next point. Obesity is an epidemic. Definition of epidemic is, it's a widespread occurrence of an infectious disease in a community at a particular time. Obesity percentages have doubled since 1960. Currently, 78 million adults and 13 million children struggle with obesity. That's 30% of our population. To me, that sounds like an epidemic. Now, let's look at how the U.S. compares to the rest of the world in terms of obesity. We see here that the U.S. is the #1 obese country, with Korea being the least. This is not surprising, as based on some of the research and studies that I've seen, the U.S. also is the #1 consumer of fast food. I mean, fast food pretty much was originated here. So now it's time to regulate it. We started the problem, now we can fix it. Just to show you the impacts of fast food and kind of the trajectory that it has, it starts off with fast food, which has all these chemicals that I mentioned earlier, the fat content, and that leads to obesity, which, by the way, is defined as a body mass index of over 30. And then that then can lead to poor health, which can ultimately result in death and a lower quality of life. This also brings me to my next point. the leading causes of death. Obesity really is the basis for a lot of the top 10 causes of death. Here you see the American Heart Association has published a top 10 leading causes of death, and it's a recent report, and the number one is heart disease. And then on this list, you'll notice you also have cancer, diabetes, and stroke. In a lot of the research that I've done, a lot of these things tie back to poor eating and ultimately fast food, which is a part of that. So again, these numbers keep increasing. These numbers aren't going down. This top 10 list has been very similar for quite some time. So at this point, it's when is the government going to step up and do something about this, because all of these can be quite preventable. As we move on talking about the issue, obesity truly is a pervasive issue. It impacts physical, mental, and even financial issues. Based on these 2014 statistics here, $1.42 trillion has been spent on healthcare related issues that are driven by obesity. That would include things such as asthma, chronic back pain, heart disease, and even cancer. The only way to fight a widespread issue such as this, where it's touching our physical, our mental, our financial issues, is to regulate it. It's a no-brainer. The reason that regulation should be had is clear. In other research that I've done, it seems that most people agree that the government's responsibility are key in these two bullet points here. Here it says they are to protect the general welfare of the citizens. This includes the health, our health. So being that this obesity situation is becoming an epidemic and is an epidemic, I think that is grounds for the government to step in and handle things based upon the responsibilities that they have. Additionally, it's the management of the economy. Just as I showed you the trillions of dollars being spent on healthcare because of health-related issues or because of obesity-related issues, we can cut those costs and use those costs for better things. So these things are clear. The government should truly step in at this point. What we're doing currently is definitely not enough. So in summary, fast food is bad. It causes obesity. It creates major health issues. It causes economic decline. The government is totally responsible to protect the welfare of the citizens, and regulation can protect future generations. Any questions?